So what dictates wall-to-wall coverage for one crime but not for another? I ask this because of a sickening act that went unnoticed in Haines City, Florida, where thugs murdered a mother and a daughter so horribly it's too graphic to even describe. Their names were Patricia Moran and Deborah Royal. They're dead. I don't blame you if you don't know them. The crime doesn't lend itself to a protest or a visit from Eric Holder. Police caught the thugs, but not before Sheriff Grady Judd had spoken of preparing for a gunfight. That irked a reporter who asked him if he regretted such harsh language. Here's the sheriff wiping the floor with him.
Some of the comments that you made last night about shooting the suspects possibly, and some comments today about the ready for a gunfight, was that in the heat of the moment? Do you have any regret about that in light of what...
No, I don't know. I not only have no regret, I'm pretty excited about telling you that's exactly what would have happened. And make no mistake about it, there's nothing about politically correct in a gunfight. There's nothing about politically correct when you're keeping people alive and well and safe. And the people of this community and these law enforcement officers come first. I meant every word of it then, and I mean every word of it now. If you surrender peacefully, that's the way we prefer it. You start pointing guns at us, you can not only plan on, but you can guarantee we're going to shoot you.
Amen. So why is this story important? Because it reveals how the establishment media is so fixated on backlash at the expense of victims. The reporter's concern after thugs killed 2 women was insensitive language. This is now everywhere. After acts of terror, the focus always drifts to your intolerant reaction to such evil. Right now, there are those who obsess over Islamophobia, yet they're the same dopes who ignored the 1,400 cases of sexual abuse in England perpetrated by Pakistani gangs, all covered up in the name of political correctness. This happens in a world where victimizers matter more than victims. Their protection provided by cartoonish exercises in tolerance. Terrorists are glammed up in Rolling Stone as root causes of recent gunmen are defended by tenured apologists. Meanwhile, victims are forgotten, reporters ask dumb questions, and one sheriff finally had enough. Good for him. So, KG, what do you make of the sheriff's response? At least there's some of these people still around.
I just want to make it my new ringtone, his little statement there, because it tells it all. No officer gets up in the morning and says, I want to go out there and I want to shoot people and put my life on the line and my family and everything. I mean, they go out there to protect and serve. That is the officer's first obligation. And by the way, anybody that's coming up trying to cause trouble and trying to shoot or kill an officer is too dangerous to let escape. And it's right. You don't have a right to be able to resist arrest and fight it out like the Wild West on the streets with the cops. That's a lawless society where everybody loses. Follow the rules, go through the process. You will have your day to object and to appeal. Would you not like to do that standing up on 2 feet versus in a casket?
Yeah, although they did kill 2 women, so I don't think they are that interested in justice of any kind. Bob, this was a local story in Florida. It was a horrible one. But it's not getting the kind of coverage that other crimes, recent crimes, get because it doesn't fit a political narrative. Is that it?
Well, I suppose you could go that way. It fits the narrative. You've got a lot of dumb reporters out there. I mean, this guy, well, I don't know where he's coming with the question. I mean, it just seemed to me to be, it was teeing it up for the sheriff to do it, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
maybe
he was asking for it.
Yeah.
And so, I don't think this guy represents everybody in the establishment media, but whoever it was, we don't know who it was. But the fact of the matter is that the sheriff was right to say what he said. And I, again, don't think the entire left was out there thinking it's a good idea people get shot down on the street.
But what a surprise. We have another example of a liberal media asking a stupid question, showing the bias that exists in the liberal media against guns and law enforcement. It just, Bob, you keep saying you can't indict the whole left. You can't indict the whole left. But meanwhile, it seems to consistently come from the left. He's media, right? He certainly was asking a question that would fall in line with anti-gun, anti-law enforcement. Would it not? He was incredulous that the cop said, if those 2 murderers come near our station, we will kill them. The reporter couldn't believe the cop. Instead of praising the cop for saying it, he couldn't believe he was offering him a chance to walk that back, which he didn't, thankfully.
No, I was just saying that we might want to find out where the guy was doing his reporting for. So.
I don't think it matters. He's liberal. He's in media.
You know what this is, though, Dana? And we've talked about it in the A block. There is a growing contrast of mentality between, you know, you look at American Sniper and The Response. You look at movies, the popularity of Justified, which we see common sense compared to a touchy-feely BS that's kind of sprouted since the 70s. Maybe is there a time where we actually are done with this?
It's possible that the reporter asking that question thought that he would get the sheriff to apologize. Right? Because then you actually get to make your mark because you were the one that got the sheriff to apologize. I like it that he didn't. It reminded me of watching press briefings that Secretary Rumsfeld used to give at the Defense Department, where he had no time for those types of questions, and he dispensed with them quickly.
Yeah.
It was masterful.
All right.